be seated. All right, kids, I'm going to need a little help from you today. Raise your hands if you've seen Disney's The Princess and the Frog. All right, you got it over here? And parents alike. No, I know you've seen it. I watched it with you. I love that movie for a number of reasons. I think the characters are so interesting and come across with so much life. But my favorite character in the movie is really a minor player in a sense. It's the firefly, Ray, who speaks with this kind of Louisiana Bayou French influenced kind of intonation. You remember Ray? He was the one that was in love with the star in the sky. Remember, you referred to the star as Ma Belle Evangeline. And he was deeply in love with her and talked about her as if she were a spouse. And Ray spent the whole movie professing his love for the star. Ray spoke about the star as if he knew her personally, as if she were alive, not just a ball of gas and stardust. But he spoke about the star as if he knew her intimately. Now, the other characters in the movie thought Ray was unhinged. They thought Ray had lost his mind. How could this little firefly, a lightning bug if you're from the South, how could this little firefly know this distant, remote star? But along the way, everything kind of changes in the movie. When Ray is smashed by the villain, Shadow Man, and all the fireflies are sad, and they entrust Ray to Ray's maker. They place him in a little leaf boat, and they set him adrift in the waters of the bayou. And as the leaf with Ray touches the water, something happens. The sky begins to twinkle, and something begins to animate that leaf, and something is happening to Ray. And all the fireflies and all the other characters in the movie look into the night sky, and the clouds part. And the star in the sky, Ma Belle Evangeline, is no longer shining in the night sky alone. But there's a little star that joins her. And everyone that witnesses the event knows what happened. They know it's Ray. They know that Ray was telling the truth the whole time. That he knew Ma Belle Evangeline as a spouse. And when it was time, she welcomed the simple, silly firefly Ray into her near presence to live forever. Now, when I watched this the first time, which I must admit was 2 days ago, I couldn't help but think about the way this tells the story of Jesus. Jesus spent his whole life and ministry proclaiming an intimacy with God, a relationship. Jesus referred to God using the most intimate language possible. Not Father, but Abba, the equivalent of Daddy. Incredibly intimate language. Jesus proclaimed God to be a God of love that knows no boundaries, no barriers to sharing that love and is much more interested in being in relationship than propriety. Jesus proclaimed a God of grace as opposed to a God of law and order. Jesus proclaimed a God seeking to reside in the hearts of God's people. And throughout Jesus' ministry, Jesus tells this story over and over and over in a myriad of different ways, and he will not be deterred from telling the story. And eventually, it costs him everything, his life. But this day, however, it changes everything. This is God's yes to Jesus. Resurrection is the seal of God's vindication of Jesus, saying that Jesus was telling the truth all along, that his new life is a sign of God's love, and the truth that Jesus told. You see, this is the good news, that God is a lover of truth, that God is the author of a grace-filled life. God marked it in the new life of Jesus and offers to make it real in our lives. So we stand this day staring into an empty tomb, given the invitation to believe in a new life, a new way that has been proclaimed, but that has been marked by God is true. Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here. He is risen.